Like all madmen, they thought taking over and running the place would be easier than it is, that the people will only be pushed so far, and the rich, and the indecent, and the MAGA, in high places, and the ones who feel like they can control you and us aren't scared enough. What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here, and I'm back again on a Friday to let you know that the architect of the shithole in which we live, Peter Thiel has decided to abscond and find himself in Argentina. Him and his family. He's moving his entire family there, and now he's on the way because he says that he is worried about the direction of America.
Pretty big news right now. Peter Thiel, who helped build Donald Trump and the current state of the United States of America, is leaving to Argentina and setting down roots in another country. According to the New York Times, Thiel is allegedly concerned about America's future, and so he has temporarily relocated to Argentina. He had a home in Miami, home in Los Angeles, and now is going to Argentina. Peter Thiel, if you don't know anything about him, he's a major right-wing donor, major donor to Donald Trump, major close ally of J.D. Vance, literally is responsible for a lot of what we're seeing in the United States today. And now he's temporarily relocated, given his concerns about America's future. Now, part of it is due to billionaire taxes that he's worried about. But he's also worried about nuclear war and runaway artificial intelligence. And he's become a close ally to Javier Milei, who's the current Argentine president.
Now, I want to make it clear how absolutely batshit crazy that sounds. Peter Thiel is worried about the direction of America, when he's the one that has set America on this crazy roller coaster through the sewer system that it's going. It's going the exact way he planned it to. Peter Thiel, who was Vice President J.D. Vance's mentor, that's his protege, who convinced Donald Trump's son to convince Trump to choose J.D. Vance as the vice president. That's what he wanted. Peter Thiel fleeing now when he is at the epicenter of the United States government, fleeing the government in which he's in control of. Let's not mince words here. He's in control of it. He owns the vice president. He owns Palantir, which, if you guys don't know, is now the government contracted spy machine developed by him, owned by him, and now being used by the government to watch what I'm showing you right now. Hey, Palantir, good to see you. They're there, they're watching, and they're getting paid by our government to do so. Peter Thiel has now more government contracts than anybody else. His companies do. He owns this place. He's running this government. He is in charge of the people who hold the lever, and he's scared about where it's going? I'm not sure you see the gravity of that statement. Anywhere it's going is where he's leading it. But that kind of makes sense, because this is his outlook on life.
Our mortal flesh, and either some kind of creation of a successor species or some kind of merger of mind and machine. And do you think that's just all kind of irrelevant fantasy? Or do you think it's just hype? Do you think people are trying to raise money by pretending that we're going to build a machine god, right? Is it hype? Is it delusion? Is it something you worry about? I think you would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit
in
this.
Should the human race survive?
Bruh.
Not sure that I even have the vocabulary with which to analyze that video. I'm going to let that just go out there, sit there. I'm just going to let you sit with that.
Will we go wrong by typing your reproductive health data into an app funded largely by a male billionaire who runs a spying company? Come on, sweetheart.
Try it. Tell the 57-yerold pink golem your precious data. Give it Give him the precious.
It's extra weird that Thiel would try to make a foray into women's health when at one point in his career, he wrote as though he believed that women getting the right to vote was bad. In a 2009 essay called The Education of a Libertarian, Thiel wrote, "The 1920s were the last decade in American history during which one could be genuinely optimistic about politics. Since 1920, the vast increase in welfare beneficiaries and the extension of the franchise to women, two constituencies that are notoriously tough for libertarians, have rendered the notion of capitalist democracy into an oxymoron."
Sure, I definitely think Thiel only wants what's best for women.
Thiel now infamously wrote, "I no longer believe that freedom and democracy are compatible."
So when he says he's scared about where it's going, and we know that he's the one holding the daggone chain in between the nose of our government, then it makes sense. But I want to get a little bit deeper, may I? Can I, please? You see, I'm going to try to, this is off the top. I know these clips off the top. So when I'm telling you what I'm going to show, it's because I'm remembering it as I'm saying it. There is a clip about the Great Depression from one of my favorite artists, and I'm putting that here.
Is that the country collapsed. Stock market crash. The standard story of the 1930s in America is that the country collapsed. Stock market crash, banks failing, bread lines, dust bowls, soup kitchens, Hoovervilles, everybody starving in black and white photographs. That version is the Great Depression that most people learned in school. But not everybody was depressed, because what you probably weren't taught is what Black America was doing during that same exact period. Because while the country was falling apart, Black America was in the middle of a renaissance. Honestly, two of them. While the rest of the country was talking about collapse, Black artists were building infrastructure. Then Roosevelt's WPA funding started funding artists through the Federal Art Project. And Black artists used that funding to build the Harlem Community Arts Center in 1937. That center became a pipeline, a training ground of sorts. So no, the Harlem Renaissance didn't die in 1929, it adapted, which honestly feels very Black American coded historically. While America was in an economic freefall, Mexico was in the middle of its own artistic explosion. Public murals, political art, national identity being rebuilt through culture. Diego Rivera, Frida Kahlo, David Alfaro Siqueiros. And Black Americans started going there. Repeatedly. Langston Hughes traveled to Mexico multiple times in the 1930s. Elizabeth Catlett moved there permanently in the 1940s, worked alongside Mexican artists, joined a political printmaking collective, and eventually became one of the most respected artists in Mexico. And meanwhile, back in the United States, Black America was still creating culture at an insane level. Sister Rosetta Tharpe was laying the groundwork for rock and roll with an electric guitar in church. Billie Holiday recorded Strange Fruit in 1939. The Negro Motorist Green Book launched in 1936. And started building survival infrastructure for Black travelers across America. A. Philip Randolph organized the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters into the first major successful Black labor union. Bessie Stringfield was riding a motorcycle across the country alone during Jim Crow. Like, do you understand how wild this period actually was? Black America was not sitting around waiting for the Depression to end. Black America was building the cultural foundation of modern America while the country was distracted. And honestly, I think this tells you something very important about history. When countries fall apart, the people hit the hardest are usually the people who had the most faith in the system working for them in the first place.
Psst. Hey, in case you didn't get it, poor white people, liberals, anybody who's not a rich white Christian man, you're the new Black people. Yeah. This is you. We're talking about you too here. You have a chance to get in at the ground level. Welcome aboard. She's talking about you now. Get it yet? What happens is when the stock markets start to ebb and flow and bend the rules, and there's no more regulations thanks to the Republican government for the past 50 fucking years, not just this MAGA. Well, now you get people like Elon changing the rules of the NASDAQ like this.
None of this works without NASDAQ changing the rules. Musk made sure there was an incentive to do so. Two stock exchanges compete for every major listing, New York and NASDAQ. SpaceX pays NASDAQ to list their stock. The real money is somewhere else.
All the data and trading fees that they then sell over time, year after year, to other trading firms, to asset managers.
NASDAQ changed a rule that shapes trillions of dollars in retirement savings. Because it's not just SpaceX or NASDAQ. You've probably heard of the S&P 500. It's the most powerful index in the world. Bloomberg reported the S&P is considering its own version of what NASDAQ just did. They'd shorten the seasoning period, and they'd let the largest companies in without ever showing a profit. The reason isn't a mystery. OpenAI and Anthropic are both expected to go public this year.
And we know what's coming. The recession is already here. Don't let them fool you. It's already here, but we're still making it. still doing the thing. The depression is very likely coming, and he knows that. He orchestrated it. He wants the destruction I showed you before. He thinks that from this destruction, him and the Elons and the rulers of the earth through AI are going to be the ones that rise to the top. He just wants to make sure he's in Argentina when it's happening and not here. Not just because they're the ones that are going to feel most of the pain here after they destroy the place, but also because he knows that the pitchforks are coming. Oh, yeah. Yes. Why is it important? Well, because you need to be informed on the type of people that the Republicans are letting in to our government. No matter how bad both sides are, and if I hear that again, I swear to God, at a time like this, if you can't see the difference, you're a fucking idiot. I want to be able to elect someone who I know I can push and fight against. That happens to be the Democratic Party. The other side wants to put you in a concentration camp and burn you alive. There's a difference. None of them have ever been our friends. They're politicians. Until we have an egalitarian government, until we have something that doesn't look like an economy based on capitalism and falsely reported scarcity, intentional scarcity. This is what we have, and we've always been working in it. They've never been our friends. It's not why we vote for them. We vote for them because the minute they get in is the day one that we start fighting them. And we know who we can push and who we cannot. That's who we're voting for. Not our friends because of great promises. We vote for the ones who make the promises that we know we can push when they get in there to actually come up with half of them. Grow up. Grow the fuck up. Anyway, the Republicans have put Peter Thiel in charge because he pays them, and they hate you. They all hate you. They hate you and your dirty mouth and your stupid trailer or your big house. They hate you for thinking that because you live in a cul-de-sac with a big house, you're anything like them. They're disgusted by you. White people, black people, especially you fucking people of color, of any color, that vote for them. They hate you. You have a little money and you think that you are better than the other people who don't, not because you live in an economy that has helped you and the roads and the taxes that have helped you, just because you're better, because you're morally better. Do you think that you are closer to them and they hate you for it? They're disgusted by you. They're disgusted by your Lexus and your big house and your color TV and your 2-car garage and the fact that you think you're anything like them. They fucking hate you. So they don't mind putting the big, beautiful bill. When Peter Thiel moves to Argentina and his words are he's scared of where the place is going, let's just say, I'll read it to you. According to The Independent, part of it surely has to do with the anti-tech, anti-billionaire backlash that seems to be brewing in liberal states such as California and New York, which is considering a Peter tax under New York City's Democratic Socialist mayor, which is really small beans. The word socialist is a joke. He's saying that if you own a fucking second house that you don't live in there, pay some more taxes. To at least give back to the city that's holding your house for you on consignment while you're gone away most of the year. And that's considered a big socialist problem. But the problem is the pitchforks. Huh? In the last 2 months, the Palantir and PayPal co-founder reportedly bought a $12 million mansion in an exclusive district of Buenos Aires. You know who else fled to Argentina when they saw the writing on the wall? The Nazis. Yeah. Did you know that? You see, they caught the butcher of something, I don't remember the full name, but he was one of the grossest. They caught him there, but the rest of them that fled there, because Argentina came in 2 seconds before the war ended, played like they were going to be on the side of the defenders of the Allied forces in order to ship actual Nazis who wanted to hide away with chests full of gold and trinkets that they stole from the Jewish people that they were massacring and brought it there with them. In Argentina, they were for the Axis powers. Their leaders, the rich ones especially, who have enough to pass down and who are generationally cursed by this. Money, greed, and are still to this day trying to fight off this right-wing, genocidal maniac way of thinking. To this day. Anyway, I'll end it here. The person who has everything in this country, from the government to the tax breaks, to the homes in multiple places. Is he leaving because he's scared of a nuclear attack? I don't think so. One thing I do think that he wasn't banking on was how stupid and fucked up Trump would be. They thought he was just a sponge they could piss on to soak up their urine. Their thoughts of how humans should be. And that is under their thumb. They weren't expecting this guy to be led around by the nose by Zionists and whatever the fuck else. He's gone too far. They see the collapse. They're hoping they can rise up from it. Peter Thiel has everything he's ever wanted in the United States. And if you think he's worried about the billionaire tax in California, maybe. But that's not why you leave a country that you own, a government that you run, and a horde of government contracts that you have the rights and contracts for. There's more than that. I'm not sure about the nuclear thing. Still just find that to be far-fetched because mutually assured destruction is just that, mutually assured. But there are crazy people out there, fine. I think what we really have here is what I find to be the most rewarding part of this story, YouTube, and I want you to find solace in this. I think, like all madmen, they thought taking over and running the place would be easier than it is, and finds out, like all madmen throughout history, that the people will only be pushed so far, and what's coming next? He might be the only one actually smart enough, steeped in history enough, to realize what that really is. And the rich, and the indecent, and the MAGA, in high places, and the ones who feel like they can control you and us, aren't scared enough. That's why he's gone. It's a good decision, because once your hospitals are gone, and your gas is too high, and planes don't run the way they used to because the jet fuel hasn't come. And we've built our communities in such a way that we can at least outlast what's happening and maybe even divert away from capitalism altogether. Join us. We're doing that education bi-weekly, if not weekly. They're not scared enough. The time to fight is now. Also, direct action means maybe you need to be throwing some dildos. I didn't say throwing, I'm sorry, holding, playing. The dildo distribution people, yeah. You haven't seen them? Go to closertotheedge.com. I'm going to put the link in there that shows you the whole thing that they're doing. It's amazing. But they're using these, and they've got thousands of them now because they realize that they're so effective at warding off these ICE agents at Whipple in Minneapolis. And now around the nation, they're giving these away to people. They're passing them out because that absurdity in the face of this toxic masculinity seems to be the one thing that gets these ICE agents to back off. It actually works. So I want to help them get those donations for the thousands that they've bought. Also, the thousands were donated to them as well. But for the ones that they bought, they need to get that money back, and they need to keep this going because it's working. If nothing else, just to piss off those ICE agents. Email me, politicaldrain@proton.me. politicaldrain@proton.me. You email me, say, I want to donate, and I will give you the instructions on how to do so. because the time to fight is now. Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're gonna pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads, it's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works.